welcome back to Trails in a Flash. My name is Brian, also known as The Flash. In 2012, I took my first steps on the Appalachian Trail, and I didn't know what I was really getting myself into. Yes, I prepared myself mentally and physically. I was reading books, I was on web pages, I was researching all I could about the trail, but it wasn't until I actually got out on it that I really learned what the trail was about and even learned who I was and what I was capable of doing. With such an amazing journey, there were things that I wish I would have known before I got started, even after all the research. So today we're going to look at 5 things I wish I knew before I started hiking the Appalachian Trail. So when I started hiking the Appalachian Trail, I had a pair of Salomon trail runners, which is still the pair of shoes I wear today. Not the same ones, obviously, but they're the pair of shoes that fit my feet the best for hiking. And you're going to watch a lot of reviews on YouTube, and you're going to do your research, and you're going to find that you're going to have to actually just try out shoes and find which shoes fit your feet the best. But my trail runners were broken in and ready to go on the trail. But I was finding I was having a lot of issues with blisters, especially on my heels. I tried buying different Band-Aids, different tape to hold those Band-Aids on my feet. I tried using sock liners. I was spending almost as much money on foot care products as I was on resupply food, and nothing was helping my feet. By the time I made it into Gatlinburg, my heels looked like this. Yes, disgusting. And I actually still have scars on the back of my heels because of that. I finally found something that worked, and it was through another thru hiker who shared some tape with me that I'd never heard of before, and it's called Leukotape. This stuff is amazing. Comes in a roll like this, and I would tear some off, put it on my heels, and put it on any other hot spot in my feet. My feet were finally able to heal up, and I didn't have any more foot problems the rest of the trail. If I'd known about Leukotape when I started, I would have definitely had a lot less painful miles on my feet. To kind of go along with that, the second thing that I wish I would have known about before I hiked the Appalachian Trail was a thing called Body Glide. Similar to this is the Gold Bond version of it. Basically, it helps reduce friction in high friction areas. And my thighs were a very high friction area when I started hiking the trail. My feet were bad. My thighs were just as bad. The first town we got to in Georgia, I got in the shower, and what should have been a magical experience, that first shower on the Appalachian Trail, was the most painful experience because the water was washing all the salt from my sweat down my body, over my thighs, and completely burning my legs. It hurt so bad. I would put Neosporin on it, gauze pads, tape them up. I actually, trying to get my thighs to heal, I had them taped pretty good. And I remember getting down to Fontana Dam and got my tent to take care of, my nightly cleaning procedure, which was usually taking off my shorts, cleaning my thighs, and re-taping them up and everything. Same with my feet. Got up to eat dinner, and my legs just felt like there's no circulation in them. Well, it turns out I put the tape on too tight, so I go back in the tent, and the tape I was using was that extra stick, pull all the leg hair off your leg kind of tape. I ended up giving myself an unexpected manscaping in that area, and it hurt. Everyone was laughing from hearing me scream inside my tent, ripping that tape off, just to get it loosened up. So if I would have known about Body Glide at the start of the trip, it would have saved my thighs a lot of issues. To go along with that, I wish I would have also known to cut the liner out of my hiking shorts, because those combined with my compression shorts were causing a lot of friction. So once I cut the liner out, once I got my thighs healed back up and got some Body Glide, everything was a lot better. And the bonus thing you can do with Body Glide is you can stick it in those friction areas that your backpack creates. For me, it was on my hips and right on the sides where my shoulder straps would hit. I'd put Body Glide on there as well, and it would help in those areas. The third thing I wish I would have known before I started my hike was to take just as many pictures of the people you meet as you do the places you see. Yes, you're going to see some amazing places on the Appalachian Trail, but it's not going to compare to the amazing friends that you're going to meet along the way. I wish I had more pictures of just hanging out at camp with those friends, or hiking together, or being in town with people, just having those special memories with the people that I got to share them with. And you're going to meet so many people, you're not going to remember all their names. I also wish I would have just recorded names of everybody too, because there's some amazing trail names out there. The fourth thing I wish I would have known about the AT before I started hiking was just how difficult southern Maine was going to be. Now you're probably thinking, well, the whole trail is difficult. You're walking up and down mountains. Yeah, that's true. But you do physically get used to it. You get your trail legs, you get going, you're going to have some high mile days, you're going to be flying through some parts of it, and everything's going to be going great. I remember hitting Vermont and seeing southbounders, and every time we'd see them, we'd be like, oh, how were the White Mountains? What were the whites like? How difficult were the whites? I don't ever remember asking about Maine, because I thought once I got into Maine, I'm on the final stretch. I'm almost to Katahdin. I'm almost done. Well, the White Mountains weren't that bad. I actually really enjoyed the White Mountains. But once I hit southern Maine, my 15 to 20 mile days came to an end, and they dropped down to 6 mile days, because the combination of the terrain with the rain made it stupid hard. They say no pain, no rain, no Maine. Well, you get the pain and rain as soon as you get into Maine, then it sucks. But once we got through that, Maine is truly, truly a beautiful state with so much to see. And it was well worth that extra hard challenge to get through southern Maine to get to enjoy the rest of Maine. The last thing I wish I would have known about the AT before I started hiking it was just how hard it would be to be finished with the trail. Now, once I hit Maine, there was an excitement for getting up to Katahdin, but there was also a sadness because the journey was almost over with. And as I stood on top of Katahdin and celebrated everything, every mile, every step, every hard day, and every great day, there was a little bit of bittersweet feeling there because the journey was over. And as I got off the sign and started walking down to the base of Katahdin, I'm actually kind of sad because I don't know what life is going to look like moving forward. I had a pretty good idea. I'd get to go home, get to go sleep in my own bed, get to be with my family, try to find a job again, stuff like that, eat real food. There were good things to look forward to. But at the same time, I didn't realize just how much I would long to be back out on the trail. My bed should have felt better than it did, especially after sleeping on a little air mattress for 5.5 months. It took a while to get used to sleeping in my bed at night. It took me a while to get used to being around crowds of people again. The sights, the smells, the noises, being in a crowd just really bothered me for a while, and then before the trail it didn't. So there were some things that were different because of the trail. The January, February, March of the following year, I actually got pretty depressed because the previous January through March, I was up to the last minute preparing, studying, reading, anything I could do, completely consumed with the Appalachian Trail. And then I start the new year without that. And it was like I didn't have a purpose. And so I had to really fight to bring the lessons I learned from the AT into my life again, to remind myself that I do have purpose, that I do have things to look forward to work toward. And every kind of this time of year every year, I got to remind myself that. So the AT messed me up, but it was in the best ways possible. And as you journey through and trek through the AT and you prepare to finish up, how will you take those lessons you've learned and apply that to your life when you get done? How will you make your world a better place because of the AT? So that's 5 things I wish I would have known before I hiked the AT. Regardless of if I knew them or not before then, it was one heck of a journey, and I would not have traded any of it, the bad stuff, the good stuff, anything, for the experience and the adventure I had. So what are some things you want to know still about the Appalachian Trail? Go on and leave a comment down below and ask those questions. And if you've hiked the trail before, maybe you can answer those or share some things that you wish you had known as well. Let's get a conversation started on this video. If you liked any part of it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, go on and hit that subscribe button. And again, thank you for watching Trails in a Flash, and we will see you out on the trail.